First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to Yahweh that puts his word in truth and in sincerity. Coming back with another lesson. And with this lesson, I got two snippets I want to play from this segment on Brighteon with Mike Adams and Steve Poplar. Okay. Now, this guy here is an accountant and does disaster relief through a nonprofit organization. So he goes into, talking about, as the title reads, the food supply chain is collapsing in real time and other things. But there's two things that he mentioned. There's other things, but there's two things that stood out, in which I will play. And one of the things that he mentioned, one of the first things he mentioned was, pretty much America is out of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him say it, and then I'll grab some precepts to edify.
Watch what's going on in the world. I can just assume that everything's going to be fine and good for forever, and that's just not the way it is. Empires come and fall, and we've had it so good here in America, in the world. I can just assume reality for most of the world. So, it gets me a little fired up. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we're talking about these, people are like, well, I don't need to stock up. I don't need to get prepared. I don't need to watch what's going on in the world. I can just assume that everything's going to be fine and good for forever.
And that's the average American. Even like you said, these people that stock up and, preparing for the apocalypse, as they would say. Stocking up on food and weapons and ammo and all that, water, gas, a lot of those people, despite them doing it to whatever level they do it, hey, they still live life like it's gonna continue like it is to some degree. You know what I'm saying? They still go along with mask mandates and things of that nature when the MOTB is fully rolled out. A lot of them same people gonna go right along with the program, man. Okay, but you do have people in America that are just living like this place is always gonna continue to be, ran and operated the way it is. Okay? They're not living in reality. The only people that are truly living in reality is the 144,000 elect and the elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? The prophets, first and foremost are living in reality, because we're the ones, through the Spirit of the Heavenly Father, that's actually letting people know what reality is. Okay.
And that's just not the way it is. Empires come and fall, and we've had it so good here in America.
Right, that's the point. He said empires come and fall. Okay. Empires come and empires go. All right. And we're at the end of this empire. Okay. Matter of fact, let me see real quick. As the scriptures say, Ecclesiastes 7 and 8, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. And when you really analyze here in this captivity, all right, Israelites have been more patient in spirit, and Edomites have been more proud in spirit. Okay, because even with their kingdom being flushed down the toilet, Edomites are still proud. Okay, it's just naturally embedded in them to be so. And Israelites, despite us being in the low condition we're in, all right, being poor, not having nothing, being giving the shit end of the stick, so to say, on every go around, and just living with that generation after generation after generation. Jake is still patient, hoping for better days. All right, now even bugged out niggas that's heavily involved in church. Your grandma, your mom, all right, all your female relatives. Stupid niggas. Males that's in church, brainwashed and zombied out. All right, Jake is still, patiently waiting and hoping for they change to come, as they say. All right. So better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. So for us Israelites, this place being this kingdom, this empire, America, Babylon the Great, being at its end, is good news for us. All right, but it's not so much good news for the Edomites, because this is their glory. This is their paradise. This is their kingdom of heaven, and their kingdom of heaven is about to be turned into hell. All right.
I know a lot of your viewers are in America, but even in the Western world, Europe, much of Europe has had it very, very good since the end of World War II.
Right. So Europe, what is that? That's the bottomless pit, and where majority of Edomites dwell outside of America. You got Australia, then you got Europe, then Canada. But when you think of Europe, you think of just stone cold Edomites. All right. So from America to Europe, okay, Edomites have had it good, as he said, since the end of World War II. All right, not just Americans, but Edomites, period, have had it good. All right, and guess what? Now this empire is at its end. Okay, so this is Jeremiah 28:8. It says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence." So it's naturally the prophet's job to prophesy of what's coming, against countries and kingdoms, and letting them know that war and evil is coming, because none of these kingdoms that are currently on the earth or in times previous would be considered the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so therefore it's always something erroneous or wicked that's going to be going on. All right, a wicked influence on the citizens. All right, wickedness being done to the citizens. Excuse me. So that can't be considered the kingdom of heaven, because in the kingdom of heaven we're not going to have any wicked decrees being issued out and enacted upon the people. All right, even all the judgments that come upon the heathen are going to be completely righteous. All right, as gruesome as they might seem, it's going to be completely righteous. Okay. So once again, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old both prophesied against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And likewise, we prophesy against Babylon the Great, all right, of war, evil, and pestilence, because that's what's coming for this place. In other countries that are on the planet, Europe, okay, Israel, the land of Israel, China, Russia, okay. So like he said, once again, let me run that back. Empires come and they go.
World, Europe, much of Europe has had it good for forever, and that's just not the way it is. Empires come and fall, and we've had it so good here in America.
Empires come and fall, and we're seeing the fall and the collapse of America, like he said, all right, which is Babylon the Great, known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures. All right, this is the book of Isaiah 13 and 19. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, so this place, Babylon the Great, is the glory of kingdoms. All right, that's why you had so many heathens, so many different nations that funneled their way over here to the Americas to partake in what they thought was the kingdom of heaven. They literally thought, there's gold in the streets. You just walk and you just find money all over the place, and there's gold nuggets that you can just stumble upon and become rich. During the time of the gold rush and all that, early 1900s, when other nations, primarily from Europe, started coming here to the Americas. Okay, and that's how you know that the Europeans and the Edomites, they're the same people, because the same way they left Europe, certain parts of Europe, and brought their ass over here, it's the same way of the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians came from the West Indies. Came from West Africa and came here to the Americas. So that's how we know that we go back to those people in West Africa, because there's because our ancestors came from over there. Okay, and before that we came from the land of Israel. But these Europeans are the Edomites here in America today. Majority of them, their ancestors came over from Europe here to the Americas, man. So they're all Edomites, all right? So when America goes down, all Edomites is going down, because they're the same people. So once again, in Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Because what happened when the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah? All right, it was lit on fire, okay, from the heavens, and nothing remains there until this day. All right, no vegetation grows. All right, it's a complete desolation and a reminder of the result of wickedness. All right, the reward of abomination. Okay, it shall never be inhabited. All right, referring to Babylon. All right, Babylon the Great. It said, it shall never be inhabited. All right, talking about America. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, because that's the same thing that Sodom and Gomorrah is experiencing. It's experiencing desolation, no inhabitants. Okay, it says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, because you got Arabs that come here and set up shop, get whatever hustle going, and prosper. Okay, and then they end up bringing more and more family members here to the Americas. Start forming communities and all that, and then this place is used as a cash cow for them to generate revenue and live high off the hog. All right, but when America's destroyed, you ain't gonna have no heathens coming here to America after the fire subsides, getting rich. All right, nobody's gonna dwell here. Okay, so neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherd make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, the dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. All right, and the precept that goes along with this is Revelation 18, pretty much says the same thing. Okay, so all these desert creatures that can survive and thrive and live in a desert-like climate is actually gonna, pretty much rule and reign in so-called America, after its destruction. Okay, you ain't gonna have human life here. You're gonna have, like it says, these desert creatures, these wild beasts, but you're not gonna have human life dwelling here in Babylon the Great. All right, the future desert. All right, this is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Actually, let's listen to a little more of this.
I know a lot of your viewers are in America, but even in the Western world, Europe, much of Europe has had it very, very good since the end of World War II.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Well, we've been living in an artificial economy of money printing, artificially low interest rates, and global reserve currency status, which we're losing. But maybe we can come back to that. But I want to ask you then, given your rather vast experience in disaster relief, have you noticed the anomalies at Lahaina?
They're about to get into something else. But continuing on in Jeremiah 51:7, it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, and like he mentioned, empires come and empires go. Empires rule, and then they end. All right. So, with that, the way this place is going to be taken out, all right, is via thermonuclear destruction. Okay, thermonuclear fires is the means in which this place is going to be sent back to the Stone Age. All right, and it's because of the BS and the wickedness that America promotes and forces down the throats of every nation under the sun. Okay, it says that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, they fed up. All right, which is why you have situations like the BRICS nations. All right, coups taking place in Africa. I think they said something like 5 coups have taken place in Africa, and they're trying to pretty much encourage other African nations to do so. To get rid of that Edomite stronghold. The strangle that the Edomites have on these African nations. Okay, verse 8, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed. Okay, we would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. And these individuals that these pundits, all right, that crunch numbers and study and all that, these individuals, they know that Babylon the Great is not sustainable. All right, they know that it's only a matter of time before, the worst case scenario, shit hitting the fan situation is due to fully take hold here in Babylon the Great. Okay, it says verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Excuse me. All right, because that smoke. All right, that mushroom cloud. All right, that's gonna protrude into the sky is gonna be seen, the world over. Okay, that's the judgment that's coming to this place. All right, so eventually, what you already have, you're gonna start seeing a lot more, like it says here in Isaiah 13, where it says the Arabian, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Okay. You're gonna start seeing a lot more of these heathens getting on flights and going back to wherever the fuck they came from. All right, as this place, as its decadence continues to fall, as more and more poverty comes, or hardship, or a struggle, adversity, a lot of these heathens is gonna realize, like, man, I ain't got to deal with this. I can go right back to wherever the hell they came from, and live better. Already got money stored up and this, that, and the third. Okay, if they smart, they'd do that. All right. So one more time, verse 9, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. All right, there's nothing that anybody can do to change the judgment of Babylon. Okay, no quantitative easing, no what's the word I'm looking for? Interest rates, adjustments. No, none of that is going to be able to help this place bounce back. Okay, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, now let me jump forward to another part in this lesson, or in this video, should I say. 17, let's see. All right.
They weren't even there, and yet they're being arrested because they're part of this network, because they're part of this organization. Yeah. The government loves when people start getting all like, we need to organize. And I push back on that because I think we should have decentralized organizations. Right. You saw this with the Proud Boys, right? I'm amazed what I can say here freely.
Yeah, you can say it all. Go for it.
People were leaders that weren't even there. They weren't even there, and yet they're being arrested because they're part of this network, because they're part of this organization. Yeah. The government loves when people stand up to them, because then they have the opportunity to slam them down, lock them away for forever, to send the troops out on the streets. They love it when you stand directly up to them. What they hate is you hiding in the shadows and just sniping at them, just going, they do something and you run after them and you take them down. The Blade Runners in London are
right. The Blade Runners in London. I don't know anything about it. I never knew anything about the Blade Runners prior to him mentioning it. But it sounds kind of interesting.
Perfect example. London decided to set up all these cameras to enforce their very low emission zone.
Right, because London is the world's most heavily surveillance city. All right, everywhere you go in London, there's cameras. Okay, and that is infringing on people's privacy. You know, and they quite frankly just ain't having it. You know, it's different out there compared to America. People here are so pacified and weak that they just go along with the bullshit. But over in other countries, you know, people actually stand up and fight against it. All right. So hence you got the people called the Blade Runners that's doing something about it.
Zone. If you're not paying the tax, you get hit with a $200 penalty every time one of their cameras takes a picture of you. And so the Blade Runners, so they call themselves, are going out there and they're vandalizing these cameras. They're taking these cameras down. They're taking down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these cameras. So oftentimes out in the broad daylight, you see videos of them out there just going up there and just cutting the wires and pulling these things down, or using grinders to cut down the poles. And people are just done with it. And they're finding creative ways to say, you want to automate this? Well, we'll just de-automate it for you.
Wow.
And we have this, a lot of people think of resistance in binary terms. It's like either you're going to go all full revolution or something, which is just pure suicide. And I've seen war. I've seen the results of civil war in countries, and we don't want that.
Right.
I promise you, we do not want that.
But that's what's coming. Civil war is coming. Okay? You don't want it, but the Lord wants it.
But we do have power.
You have no power. Inside joke. All right, this is Isaiah 19 and 1, because civil war is coming to America, man. All right? You got everybody from under the sun that lives here in America, and you think there ain't gonna be no civil war? You are crazy. Isaiah 19 and 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. All right, that's talking about the Lord and the chariots. Okay, the chariots, when World War III is popping off, even now, man, even now you got the chariots of Yahweh Shem Shah just making appearances in random states, random cities. Okay, here in America. Okay, but those appearances and whatnot is only going to increase the more leading up to the day of the Lord, man. Okay, and that's not a good thing. All right, it tells you that in I believe Zechariah. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Okay, because the Lord is breaking down strongholds. Okay, and there's a lot of strongholds on people's mentals here in Babylon the Great, and those strongholds are pretty much kept in place by these idols that are promoted here. Okay, these idols are pretty much ingrained in these people's brains to the point that it's going to take fire to cleanse them of that. It's going to take death to cleanse them of that. All right. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right. The white on white crime. All right, because the Edomites is the new Egyptians. All right. According to the book of Revelation 11 and 8, America is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. All right, which is why there's so much alphabet agenda going on, and a lot of references in customs of ancient Egypt that are promoted and held here in America, because this place is spiritually Egypt. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's total chaos, man. Total chaos. All right. Total confusion. like the movie The Road. You ain't gonna know who to trust. You know what I'm saying? The Book of Eli. Some damsel in distress. Yeah, right. That bitch is trying to eat you. You know, that's what's coming to America, man. And people, quite frankly, ain't ready for it. All right, it's gonna take the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to see you through the time of Jacob's trouble. Which, you know, this is going into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, verse 3. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and we're witnessing that. The lead up to the spirit being totally sucked out of this place like a vacuum. Because right now, you can still go around America and sense the inflation of pride, man. But eventually, the Lord is going to suck all that pride out of here like a vacuum. Okay? All right, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. All right, which is why you got Sleepy Joe up in office, tweaked out of his mind. Don't know where he's at. Mitch McConnell, all right, him sleepwalking. Okay, that's the Lord making mockery and showing that he's destroying the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards, because that's what this place has been predicated and built up upon, is witchcraft. All right, and now that we're in the end, you see it. They blatantly just throw it out there to you. Okay, and the Egyptians will I give. Well, that's going into something else, but you know, we can start at verse 3. All right, now we'll listen to a little more of this, and then we'll grab 2nd Esdras and wrap it up.
To just hear something like what they're doing in New Mexico, they passed this unconstitutional emergency action. New Mexico.
Yeah.
And they said, you're not allowed to have guns out in the open. You're not allowed to have concealed carry, even though we issued you these permits. We're just going to suspend that. And the people are just like, no.
Yeah, they came out and just rallied openly carrying firearms and telling Governor Grisham to go pound sand.
And the sheriff is like, I'm not going to enforce that. That's crazy. And when people just like, no, we're not going to do that, then all they really have is a piece of paper that's as worthless as their Federal Reserve note, right?
Well, right, but it also goes to show you that the whole idea of applying for permission to carry.
All right, so you got people just being defiant toward law enforcement and mandates and certain laws or whatever. Okay, because those people in New Mexico they wasn't going for that. All right. So this is 2nd Esdras 15 and 15. Let me start at 14. It says, "Woe to the blood and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." All right, that's civil war. All right, that these Edomites, you got certain Edomites that encourage it, that's looking forward to it because they want to, pretty much put Israelites to death. All right, and then you got others that's not looking forward to it because they know, how ugly it can get. You know what I'm saying? All right, you got these liberal Edomites. They don't want civil war to pop off. They're comfortable. They still want to run around with their wicked so-called liberties they have. Meanwhile, the Republican type Edomites, the good old boys, they're looking forward to it because they're fed up and tired of their country being drugged through the mud, man. Okay, verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right. So these people ain't gonna care about no politicians, no presidents, no governors, no mayors, no congressmen. All right, no senators. And they're gonna take power into their own hands. Okay. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, and later in this segment, he goes into, the food supply collapsing. All right, so everything is already expensive. Buying, anything is expensive. All right, and it's gonna get worse. So when that gets worse, you're gonna have people that are starving, and what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna target those that have it. If you got it, they want it. Okay. So, this is a good video. I'll leave it in the description box. And, some good points in there. And, as usual, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Until next time, I say shalom.